right, everyone, that's all the time that we have for today, and we're so grateful and so thankful for all of you decided to be able to join us on today. We hope that you all have a great weekend, but until then, coming up next on NBC at 4 is The Kelly Clarkson Show. And if you're watching us on ABC, coming up next at 4 is 21Alive News at 4. They're bringing you all that you need to know with the local breaking news, top headlines, as well as that first alert weather forecast. We hope that you all have a great weekend, and be sure to visit our website to find out more information on how to be able to share and feature your business, nonprofit, or event on our show. Also, to be able to see any of the segments that maybe you missed, and to check out our Value Vault deals. Everyone, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next time. Bye.
Coming up on 21Alive News at 4.
The previously yet-to-be-named Fortune 100 company planning to bring a data center to Allen County has been revealed following months of mystery. We'll tell you what we know.
Plus, the FBI is warning of an increase in sextortion schemes targeting kids and teens. The important information you need to know in our Did You Know segment.
And making sure all fans are able to enjoy the game. The University of Evansville kicked off a new event to do just that. We'll tell you all about it and what sparked the idea coming up.
The snow has moved out for the most part, but the cold air is moving right back in. I've got complete details coming up.
The weather roller coaster ride continues. Chris, thank you so much. And everyone, stay with us.
All that and much more coming up next on 21Alive News at 4.
On 21Alive News at 4, driving conditions have improved as today went on, but this kind of winter weather can certainly lead to crashes. So what do you need to do if this happens to you? We've got great advice.
And a litter of puppies abandoned in the bitter cold in southern Indiana. They are headed to Fort Wayne next, and we'll tell you how you can help.
Now, from your local news leader, this is 21Alive News.
Welcome to 21Alive News at 4. I'm Heather Herron.
And I'm Linda Jackson. We want to thank you for being with us for your only local newscast this hour of the day. We will get started with your top 4 headlines at 4 right now. And of course, that top headline on this Friday is your weather as we take a live look from Tower Cam right here at Television Park. The snow is pretty. What was even prettier were the blue skies today and that sunshine.
Makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Big, big, big.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris Daniels is with us for a look at what we can expect for the weekend.
Yeah, the prettiest thing is that today's Friday and the weekend is just ahead of us.
Yes.
I always like the way he thinks.
It depends where you are this afternoon, whether you're seeing some sunshine. There are a few lake snows that drifted down from Lake Michigan. I'll show you where those are.
Okay.
And that their radar here in just a little bit. Right now, we've got some cold air. That's going to be the feature of the upcoming weekend. Not as brutal as last week. In the last few days, let's take a look at the future and the wind chill. We'll find that wind chill right now at around 10, dropping later on tonight. In fact, we'll see those wind chill temperatures, what it actually feels like tomorrow morning into the single digits as we go through the nighttime hours. Down to about 7 below tomorrow morning at just before 8 o'clock. The wind chills stay at just above 0 during the day tomorrow, and then they fall back below 0 as we get into early Sunday morning, as cold as about 8 or 10 below 0. And then a wild warm-up. It could come with some freezing rain early next week. I'll talk more about that in a full first alert weather. It's all on the way in just minutes.
Chris, thank you so much. The winter weather has been making driving just a little bit more difficult this week.
Road conditions like the ones we saw this morning can increase the risk of a crash or a slide-off. Now, if it happens to you, it's important to take steps to keep yourself safe. Many of us would immediately get out of the car to inspect the damage, but Sergeant Brian Walker from the Indiana State Police told us today to actually do the opposite. Stay seatbelted in your car. He also mentioned some other tips to stay safe.
That's having an emergency kit in your vehicle to keep you warm, something to keep you warm, blankets, sleeping bags, dressing appropriately, and those things are going to protect you, hopefully, from the elements to help keep you warm should you find yourself on the side of the road for whatever reason.
Sergeant Walker also says to not get out of your car to help someone else who's gotten into a crash or slid off the road. We have a reminder for you for up-to-the-minute weather information. Download the First Alert Weather app. It is free for iPhone and Android. Just scan the QR code on the screen and you're all set.
Continuing our top headlines right now, staff at a Fort Wayne rescue are dealing with a heartbreaking reality when it comes to brutal winter weather and animals. Jenny Daly, the president of Wags and Wiggles Rescue in Fort Wayne, says she recently learned about a situation in southern Indiana where someone left a litter of puppies outside in the bitter cold, resulting in 3 of the pups dying. She talked with us today about that difficult reality rescue shelters do sometimes face this time of year.
It does take a toll on us just trying to help people in the community. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help because they're afraid there's going to be consequences. But really, we're not here to judge them. We just want to help them and help their animals be safe.
Now, tomorrow, we understand the remaining dogs that survived will be transported to Wags and Wiggles here in Fort Wayne. 21Alive reporter Alex Null will have much more on how you can help. That's tonight at 5.
The company behind Project Zodiac was a mystery until today. Google is the company behind the data center that will be built near East Paulding and Adams Center roads. While there are still lots of unknowns about the project, we do know Google has committed to an $845 million investment. It will need to create at least 30 full-time jobs to keep a tax incentive. Business analysts believe this could bring more opportunities to Indiana.
And I think in many ways, I think Indiana really today entered the sweepstakes to become a real data center state. And Fort Wayne's going to play a big role in that because of the fact that Google has chosen to locate there.
Tonight at 6, 21Alive reporter Taylor Williams will have more on what investments could follow today's announcement.
We already knew that Fort Wayne businessman Tim Smith had intentions to run for Congress, and today he made it official. Smith filed his candidacy for Indiana's 3rd Congressional District. He says in Congress he'll fight to cut government spending, secure our southern border, and bring Hoosier values to our nation's capital.
A bill moving through the Indiana legislature would add bobcats to the list of hunted animals in the Hoosier state. The bill would give the DNR until July 1st of 2025 to adopt rules, license fees, and bag limits. The bill's author says he would envision such a hunt taking place in southern and southwest Indiana, south of I-70, where the bobcat population has been increasing.
I think they're a majestic creature that I want to see continue in Indiana. But yes, they are 100% a apex predator in Indiana. Aside from humans, they will predate on deer, turkeys, cottontails, all of the small game. If it's alive and slower than them, they'll eat it.
Indiana would join Iowa, Illinois, Kentucky, and Michigan in establishing a bobcat season.
Before we take you to break, this just in, actor Alec Baldwin is headed to trial over that fatal shooting that took place on the Rust film set. The decision to indict Baldwin in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins came down late this afternoon. You'll remember Hutchins was killed in 2021 when Baldwin's prop gun fired a live round of ammunition during rehearsals. Baldwin is charged with involuntary manslaughter, and if convicted, he could face up to 18 months in prison. A trial date has not been set. Next on 21Alive News at 4, as we take a live look at downtown Fort Wayne from our camera on top of Science Central. More on your full forecast. Plus, Julian Teakroom has this week's Forever Home Friday, and it's one you won't want to miss.
It's time for another edition of Forever Home Friday with Melissa Gibson from Humane Fort Wayne and 2 adorable puppies. Thank you for this gift, Melissa.
I like to make the newsroom happy.
Yeah, she really does. Every single week she does, for sure. These 2 are just cuties.
They're adorable. They are, in spite of the fact that they have very similar coloring, they are not siblings. They are not related. In fact, they're 2 completely different breeds.
Okay.
So these are 2 very different dogs. The guy in my lap here, this is Tetra. Tetra is an Australian cattle dog mix. He is high energy, very busy. He is a great dog. Like, he's obviously got the cuddles in him.
Yeah.
But he's going to be one that wants to be very busy. I think he'd do great with another dog in the house, honestly.
I think so, too.
Kids to run and play with.
Yes, he needs a lot of stimulation.
Yes.
He has a lot of energy, like you said, but he's just so cute.
He is. He does great, but you look at the size of these paws. Like, they're 3 months old. Both of these guys are 3 months. So don't let their size deceive you. This guy is probably going to be close to 60 pounds by the time he's full grown. So he's going to be a bigger dog. So, you know, don't let the puppies con you into thinking they're going to stay small forever, because they don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He'll be a good sized baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Rue.
That's Rue.
And she is so sweet. We were talking about how much energy Tetra has.
Yes.
She has energy, but she's just more calm.
So
you know?
Rue is a very different and I guess a unique breed to what we would say in Fort Wayne. She is a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever mix.
Wow.
So what that means is her breed is typically used for hunting waterfowl, like retrieving animals from the water, you know, ducks, that kind of thing. So she's going to be a water baby. She's going to have kind of a demeanor. Her breed is going to be smart and outgoing, other dogs, kids, all that kind of thing, great. Kind of like a golden retriever, but a little smaller.
Okay.
So she'll probably get into the 40, 50-pound range when she's fully grown. But she already has a lovey-dovey, very calm, wants to make you happy. So, you know, depending on what you're looking for, even with puppies all look cute, right? But there are better matches for certain families than others. So taking that into consideration, don't let the breed be the thing that catches you. Make sure that you know the personality of the dog that you're adopting, for sure.
Yeah, that's so true, Melissa. And, you know, with puppies, we always warn people, they're so adorable, but they are so much work.
They're a ton of work, because this is the stage where you want them to be socialized, where you want to start training, where you want to make sure that you're doing all of that due diligence, because if you want that dog that's well-behaved and great in social situations and good with other animals, right now is the time when they're at this age, just like with your own kids.
Yeah, you got to put in the work.
You got to put in the work ahead of time. So if you're not ready for that commitment, no bueno, don't do it. Adopt yourself a dog that's a year or two old that's already got some of that stuff under their belt. But we try to help. We do offer puppy classes, and we do offer a lifetime of support for you, you know, with everything from potty training to crate training. We'll help give you tips and tricks and stay by your side to make sure that the whole family can be successful. But yeah, these guys, they're both great.
Love the resources that you guys offer, Melissa. This dog is so soft. I could just hold her all day. If you guys want to adopt puppies, just head to the website, humanefw.org.
Well, there's a look outside. Fort Wayne currently should describe the weather conditions, but my computer isn't working currently. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
Dun, dun, dun.
Have a little conference here. We got to get going until 5 o'clock. That's when the quitting time is, okay? 20 degrees right now at Fort Wayne International Airport currently. And we've got those winds a little bit brisk from the west at about 15 miles an hour. And we're looking at a sunset tonight at 5:41. These daylight hours are slowly getting longer. There's been some big-time lake snows. Earlier today, they were west of South Bend. They've drifted eastbound. Now they're over South Bend with some heavy snow. There'll be some places along the Indiana shoreline that'll pick up 2 feet of snow with this system. There's also little bits and pieces of lake snows a little bit closer to our area. They aren't as intense, but they can produce some moderate bursts of snow. They're extending right now from, it looks like the eastern part of Whitley County, right over into the western part of Allen County, then snaking just north of Roanoke, and then down toward Ossian this afternoon. So if you're in these snow bands, it may seem like there's going to be a lot of snow, but they're moving along pretty quickly. And the projection earlier today were these to get all the way down to the south and to the east of Allen County, and it didn't look like they'd do that until about a half hour ago. The modeling was pretty persistent all day long, and now the radar's catching up as we see some scattered lake snows from about South Bend down toward Columbia City and on south and eastbound. That's where they're projected to end later on tonight. The lake snows will be up toward Lake Michigan for the longest tonight through tomorrow. And a few scattered lake snow showers or flurries during the day tomorrow. Probably won't amount to much before sun comes back out tomorrow afternoon. As we go into Sunday, also a pretty good day, but both days will be cold. Both days have wind chills at dawn at around 5 to 10 below. In daytime, we're going to struggle to even get to 20. 5 degrees tonight as some spotty lake snow showers. and the winds from the west at 5 to 15, making it feel as cold as 10 below at times. Tomorrow, it's Saturday. Chance of some stray snow showers and a high of 19. The best chance of those are north and west of Allen County. West winds at 10 to 20. How about the 7-day outlook? We've got some pretty significant changes coming up. If you don't like the 19 degrees tomorrow, wait just a few more days. It may come with a little bit of drama Monday night with a brief period of freezing rain before changing to rain late. And then regular old rain showers Tuesday, Wednesday, and possibly into Thursday. The high temperature on Monday, 32, 36 on Tuesday, 37 Wednesday and Thursday, 40 on Friday. Just saw the new midterm models came out, which are for the next 8 to 14 days, showing temperatures way above normal. In fact, the area around Minneapolis could hit 60 in about 10 days from now. So if they're 60, we're not going to be at 19 degrees.
When was the last time Minnesota saw 60 degrees?
At the end of
January?
It's probably been a while, but maybe not as long as you think. We'd have to go back through the records.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, that's too big of a task for me on a Friday afternoon.
Okay.
And this computer, obviously, too.
Yeah, true.
We'll wait till Monday.
Yeah, we'll get back with you. Thanks,
Thank you, Chris. Next on 21 Alive News at 4, the University of Evansville kicked off a new event that makes it easier for all fans to cheer on the team. We'll tell you all about it and where the idea came from next. The University of Evansville kicked off a new event that could become an annual tradition.
Love this story. Wednesday, the men's basketball team held a sensory inclusive game. As Liz DeSantis reports, one of the players got the idea from his younger brother.
Brantley Myers is his brother's biggest fan.
He's gonna be really famous.
The 8-year-old goes to every single University of Evansville basketball game to watch his brother Tyler Myers play. It didn't take long, though, for his older brother to realize that he had trouble sitting through some of the games.
He was having a hard time with overstimulation, and I always wanted to do something about it, and so I started doing research.
That's when Tyler learned that 1 in 6 people in the U.S. dealt with some sort of invisible disability. He started the nonprofit Sensory Inclusion to do something about it.
It gave me a platform to really share my love for my brother and to help people like him.
2 years later, the freshman guard is hosting the Ford Center's very first Sensory Inclusion Night, complete with dimmed lights and free bags with sensory-friendly gear.
We want to set a standard of normality. We want everyone to accept the individuals and be able to wear your headphones out and have your fidgets and not really think of anything of it.
Brantley is pretty proud of his older brother.
How do you feel about that, knowing he did that? Happy.
Tyler's family aren't the only ones who are excited, though. Amanda Kaysen says the inclusive event makes it easier for both her sons to have a good time.
My son, if it's too loud or overwhelming, it's a little hard to get him to want to come. So it was exciting to see this and try it.
With both their boys happy, that means Kaysen is finally able to relax and enjoy herself, too.
Seeing things where the community is working together to support kids that have special needs in any way whatsoever is a really cool thing to see.
Sure is, and the sensory-friendly game is something the team hopes to do each and every year.
Lots of organizations are finding ways to do programs like that to make sure that everybody can come and have a good time.
Several high schools, I think, in our area, and I love to see those games take place.
Well, there is much more at 4 coming your way. A local McDonald's worker is in her celebrity era after befriending Jason Kelce of the Eagles. We'll have that story next. While Eagles star center Jason Kelce mulls over whether to retire or to play one more year, there is a Philadelphia area McDonald's employee who has become a bit of a social media darling after befriending Kelce.
Reporter Tim Furlong has her story.
Welcome to McDonald's. How are you this morning? May I help you?
Hundreds and hundreds of cars come through the drive-thru at the McDonald's at Sproul Road, and one of the drive-thru workers is now enjoying her celebrity moment.
Oh, you're the lady. I am the lady.
Danielle is a celebrity because she has befriended her favorite Eagles celebrity, Jason Kelce, who first came to her window back in the summer.
I started freaking out and hyperventilating and crying.
As you'd expect, Jason Kelce was super nice and chill and down to earth with Danielle and the entire team.
No, he's always really nice. I asked, hey, Mr. Kelce, can we take a picture? He always says yes.
My first autograph of his is on a McDonald's paper bag.
Jason always orders the same thing.
2 sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins, and depending on the weather, if it's cold out, he'll get a large black hot coffee.
And at Christmas, when Danielle's boyfriend finally got her that Kelly Green Kelce jersey she has always wanted, and knowing Kelce might be retiring, she kept the jersey in a protective bag at McDonald's, hoping Jason would pull up to her window and sign it, which he did with a big smile on Wednesday.
He said, how many L's is it again? I know your name's Danielle. We're on a first name basis.
Danielle is a great Eagles fan and a really smart lady, so when she had a chance to say something to Kelce, she kind of did us all a favor. She told him, dude, you know, you don't have to retire.
This is unreal for me. This really is.
Danielle gave Jason a couple gifts for him and his wife, and while she's not sure if he's done playing, she's also not sure he's done with the Eagles.
Maybe assistant coach Kelce, who knows? Hey.
But she's still holding out hope that her favorite McMuffin man wants to keep on playing.
If you got one more in you, I'm all for it. Let's go. And if not, I commend you for everything and wish you nothing but the best. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Oh, what a story. That's fantastic.
Isn't it great, too, when the people you look up to, the idols, the celebrities, are so down to earth?
Yes, they turn out, turn out to be the real deal. I'll tell you what, he was so emotional at the end of the game, and everybody was speculating, and all I could concentrate on were the tears in his eyes. It was hard to watch.
If he does retire, he can go to that McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
He can start every day there.
Yeah, he'd probably bring in a lot of business.
Probably would. And he might not be experiencing our Arctic cold, although Philadelphia is pretty cold this time of the year. Let's have a look now at our temperature trends for the night. Oh, it's an ugly staircase down, down, down. We start at 20. We have half that temperature at 3 a.m. going down to about 5 tonight. Those wind chills nasty, too. I'll talk more about those. And the outlook for a warm-up, too, in just a little bit.
Thanks so much, Chris. If you have any story ideas or recommendations for 21Alive News at 4, you can submit a news tip on our website, 21alivenews.com, or find us on social media. You can also catch our special segments, including Linda Likes It, Tell Julian, Meteorology Minute, Community That Cares, and much more. Just click on the Special Segments tab on our website.
And before we go to break, we know the bad weather isn't often the happiest of subjects, but it does provide for some pretty pictures like these we took during a quick walk around the station early this morning. We'll be right back. On 21Alive News at 4:30, driving conditions have improved as the day went on, but you know, this kind of weather can lead to crashes. What do you need to know if this happens to you? We've got some pretty good advice.
And a litter of puppies abandoned in the bitter cold in southern Indiana. They are headed to Fort Wayne next. We'll tell you how you can help.
Now, from your local news leader, this is 21Alive News.
Welcome to 21Alive News at 4:30. I'm Heather Herron.
And I'm Linda Jackson. Thanks so much for sticking with us for your second half hour here on the News at 4. Let's get started with your top 4 headlines right now. And of course, the top headline on everybody's list is the weather as we take another live look from Tower Cam here at Television Park, one of our many Skyview Network cameras. You can see all the snow. The clouds kind of came and went today. They're back again.
Yeah, I did enjoy the sunshine for the brief time it was out. So we're going to check in now with Chris Daniels to find out if we have more sun in the forecast for the weekend.
There were a few flurries on that camera shot.
Yeah,
just a few.
I was ignoring them.
Well, okay. By probably next week at this time, the snow we have may all be gone.
Oh, okay.
And that's because of some rain and some warmer temperatures. But we still have February coming up.
Yes, we do.
So we're not completely out of the...
I think his glass is half empty today.
Well, it got frozen in the extreme cold and broke last time, so I'm using a cup. Let's take a look now as we see the weather here for the next couple of days. Wind chills really backing down tonight. The temperature about 7 o'clock, 7:30 tonight, down to 17 with a wind chill of 7 above. Going through the overnight hours, there's 7 below now, the wind chill. Here in the fort, just before 8 tomorrow morning, 11 below at Auburn, and up at Angola, 13 below. Those are pretty brutal wind chills. lasting really through the weekend as we get into Sunday morning. Those wind chills really starting off very cold, but a warming trend Monday with some rain on the way could start as some freezing rain Monday night. That's a little different drama than we've seen here recently. I'll talk more about that and the outlook for the upcoming week, too. And the full first alert weather, it's on the way in just minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. The winter weather has been making driving a little more difficult this week, right?
Road conditions like the ones we saw this morning can increase the risk of a crash or a slide-off. If it happens to you, it's important to take steps to keep yourself safe. Many of us would immediately get out of the car to inspect the damage, but Sergeant Brian Walker from the Indiana State Police told us today to actually do the opposite. You want to stay seat-belted in your car. He also mentioned some other tips to stay safe.
That's having an emergency kit in your vehicle to keep you warm, something to keep you warm, blankets, sleeping bags, dressing appropriately, and those things are going to protect you hopefully from the elements to help keep you warm should you find yourself on the side of the road for whatever reason.
Sergeant Walker also says to not get out of your car to help someone else who's gotten into a crash or has slid off the road. A reminder for you, for up-to-the-minute weather information, you can download the First Alert Weather app. It's free for iPhone and Android. Scan the QR code that you see right now on your screen, and you're good to go.
Continuing our top headlines, staff at a Fort Wayne animal rescue are dealing with a heartbreaking reality when it comes to brutal winter weather and animals. Jenny Daly, the president of Wags and Wiggles Rescue in Fort Wayne, says she recently learned about a situation in southern Indiana where someone left this litter of puppies outside in the bitter cold, resulting in 3 of the pups dying. She talked with us today about the difficult reality rescue shelters sometimes do face this time of year.
It does take a toll on us just trying to help people in the community. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help because they're afraid there's going to be consequences. But really, we're not here to judge them. We just want to help them and help their animals be safe.
That's so important message-wise, isn't it? Tomorrow, the remaining dogs we understand that survived will be transported to Wags and Wiggles. 21Alive reporter Alex Null's been on this story. He'll have much more on how you can help tonight on the news at 5.
The company behind Project Zodiac was a mystery until today. Google is the company behind the data center that will be built near East Paulding and Adams Center roads. While there are still many unknowns about the project, we do know Google has committed to an $845 million investment. Google will need to create at least 30 full-time jobs to keep a tax incentive. Business analysts believe this could bring more opportunities to Indiana.
And I think in many ways, I think Indiana really today entered the sweepstakes to become a real data center state. And Fort Wayne's going to play a big role in that because of the fact that Google has chosen to locate there.
Tonight at 6, 21Alive reporter Taylor Williams will have more on what investments could follow today's announcement.
We already knew that Fort Wayne businessman Tim Smith had intentions to run for Congress. Today he made it official. Smith filed for his candidacy for Indiana's 3rd congressional district, and he says in Congress, if elected, he'll fight to cut government spending, secure our southern border, and bring Hoosier values to our nation's capital.
Many of us have being healthier on our list of ways to better ourselves, and for some that may mean losing weight, but some health experts believe the number on the scale shouldn't be the only factor to consider when you're looking at your health.
Mandy Gaither has more now on what makes a healthy weight and why changes in diet and exercise don't help everyone.
In the U.S., it's long been considered a serious health issue. Being overweight or obese can lead to dangerous problems. But when it comes to the number on the scale, one size may not fit all.
You can't just judge the book by its cover and assume that someone that is larger is unhealthy and someone that is lean is healthy, right? That's the assumption that people make. And I call that practicing street corner medicine.
In the Chasing Life podcast, obesity medicine physician scientist Fatima Cody Stanford says weight doesn't necessarily dictate health. She says it's just one factor that plays a role, but by itself, it doesn't give the whole picture because it doesn't show a person's ability to function and perform at that weight.
Someone who's lean may be very unhealthy, and someone who's heavier may be healthier.
While healthy eating and exercise are both important to health, some experts say not everyone will lose weight that way, and the research around obesity is changing.
What we're starting to see is that there are actually different types of overweight and obesity, different classes. You could even call them Class A, Class B, Class C, and they respond to different things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says there are some people who respond better to healthier lifestyle changes while others won't. That's why he says weight loss drugs are gaining popularity because of the number of people they can potentially help.
What the challenge is for a lot of doctors, especially obesity medicine doctors, is trying to figure out which class of people, a class of patient they're actually dealing with.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
Dr. Stanford says severe obesity is classified by body mass index, or BMI, alone, which she says is flawed. Instead, she says a deeper look into a person's metabolic health parameters is needed for a patient, looking at things like, well, cholesterol values, fasting, insulin, glucose, and liver function. Consumer news now. The Consumer Product Safety Commission announced a recall of more than 500,000 beds from Home Design, Inc. Take a look at your screen. Officials say these beds pose a collapsing or breaking risk while they're in use. They were sold at stores and outlets like Wayfair, Overstock, and Walmart. Now, leaders from the Indiana-based wholesalers say they've received more than 100 incidents of collapsing beds with dozens of related injuries.
Home sales fell last year to just over 4 million homes sold. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. That's a low that hasn't been seen since 1995, and it comes on the heels of an 18% drop from 2021 to 2022. Analysts say high prices and low inventory were major factors in the slip in sales, in addition to higher mortgage rates. In a new wave of student loan forgiveness, the Biden administration is canceling $5 billion in debt. President Biden said 44,000 approved borrowers were having their education debt wiped clean after 10 years of public service. Those included teachers, nurses, and firefighters. It's the latest round of loan forgiveness efforts after the Supreme Court struck down the White House's student loan debt relief plan last year. Despite flaring tensions and disrupted trade routes in the Middle East and historic winter weather here at home, gas prices in the U.S. continue to hold steady, at least for now.
Will weather woes and international crises hit the oil markets and your wallet? Reporter Mike Valerio breaks some of the numbers down.
Historic cold and deadly winter weather taking a toll on oil production in the U.S.
There can be unexpected outages caused by the freezing temperatures. There can be power losses. Pipelines that deliver natural gas to refineries can freeze. And so we have seen several major refineries in Texas shut down because of the extremely cold weather.
In the Middle East, critical shipping lanes disrupted by attacks on vessels by Iran-backed Houthi militants from Yemen in retaliation, they say, for the war in Gaza.
What's happening in the Red Sea with the Houthi militants has driven up oil prices. As many vessels have been avoiding the Red Sea, that's driving up transit time.
Yet, despite these cascading crises, gas prices across America are holding relatively steady in the low $3 range for a gallon, according to AAA.
It stands at $3.09 a gallon. That price still considerably lower, about 29 cents lower than what we were paying last year.
Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says overall global demand for oil is down, and a dramatic shift to above average temperatures in the U.S. next week could counter any impact of recent refinery shutdowns, keeping prices steady.
But some pain at the pump may be in the forecast as winter starts to loosen its grip next month. The national average will begin its seasonal rise, and escalating tensions overseas may finally hit wallets here at home.
If oil production eventually is impacted, then these geopolitical tensions certainly could be more impactful in the weeks and months ahead.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
And next on 21Alive News at 4, we'll get a look at your full forecast as we head into the weekend. What can we expect? Chris has everything we need to know when we come back. Welcome back. A gustnado blew through Jeff Davis County, Georgia, and moved a bull by the horns to a different pasture. And watch a dramatic rescue caught on video.
I'm enticed. Let's just say there are 4 grateful campers with that story. And Patrick Cornell has today's. Take a look at this.
A storm with damaging winds blew through Jeff Davis County, Georgia, causing extensive damage to Charles Marchant's farm in Hazelhurst.
The front half of the barn is gone, and the back half is gone.
He found a container in this tree line. According to the National Weather Service, a gustnado, yes, a gustnado, was responsible for the damage that wreaked havoc to his property. But here's where it gets unusual. The gustnado, it huffed and puffed and steered this bull into a different pen. Or you could say it moved the bull, if you need a second pun.
We had one bull wound up in this pen where the horse had wrapped. And we couldn't figure out how he got there because the gates were shut.
People got wind of the bull story and hope the legend is legitimate.
Or is that bull manure you talking about?
Now to another storm which had a daring rescue. 4 students were camping on top of a snowy gorge when they got stranded. Yes, camping in those very, very, very chilly conditions. The students stayed overnight and underestimated the weather. The heroes of the Kentucky State Police Aircraft Branch swooped in and saw the 4 students huddled together, plucking them from that peak and sailing off to safety. They're all doing fine now, and hopefully they're in a much, much, much warmer place. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
You got to be real careful with winter weather, especially at those higher elevations. That snow can just come in just like that. We have a little bit of snowflakes on our cameras now. Looks a little bit darker than it did last hour because that sunshine is gone. We're seeing a little bit of lake snow still trying to move down from Lake Michigan. Nothing like they'd seen today and are still seeing. But the airport reports some snow showers, 20 degrees right now at Fort Wayne International Airport. Here's the big band of lake snow. It's clearly shifted further to the east. And then another sub-band is causing some lighter snow showers here in Allen County. Over at Whitley County, we've been watching these scattered snow showers. They're really just concentrated bands of flurries running over the extreme southeast part of Whitley County into Allen County and down toward Huntington County. Roanoke, you're seeing a little bit of light snow, and there's also some extending all the way back to the south and to the east into the northern part of Adams County. These snow bands can get pretty far before they dry up. Future Track saying, yes, there's some scattered snow showers still coming off the lake, and they may for the next little while, but then they're going to lift northbound back, be more concentrated around the lake shore later on tonight into tomorrow morning. This is about 9 o'clock. We could see some scattered snow showers here and there tomorrow afternoon, but they, again, won't amount to much. They shouldn't be a travel problem. And then as we get into Saturday into Sunday, our skies clear. This is Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. What you can't see here is it's very cold at that time with a wind chill well below 0. But things will be improving as we move into Sunday and to Monday, where warmer air is going to be moving back into the region, but not until then. 5 degrees the low tonight, but wind chills in the 5 to 10 below range. Those winds from the west at 5 to 15, adding that chill. There's your Saturday weather tomorrow. Some sunshine mixed with clouds, stray snow shower. High of 19. It'll be a breezy day, too, where the west winds at 10 to 20. And your 7-day outlook, still cold on Sunday. The sunshine back. Big time changes Monday. There could be an icy mix greet us late Monday evening with the advance of warmer air that takes over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So the roughly 2 or 3 inches of snow that's on the ground in many areas likely will be gone next week. The overnight lows starts at 2 Sunday morning and 35 by Friday morning. That's a big time improvement. Should feel more comfortable. We just got to get through the Monday evening event, and hopefully that freezing rain really doesn't cause a problem.
Hope not.
Fingers crossed.
We'll hope so. Yeah. Maybe it won't even materialize.
Toast too. Oh, that would be lovely.
That'd be great, yes.
Thank you. All right, Chris, still to come. Everybody on 21Alive News at 4. The FBI is warning of an increase in sextortion schemes targeting kids and teenagers. Important information in Did You Know? Next.
The FBI is warning of an increase in sextortion schemes targeting kids and teenagers.
Susan Campbell has what parents need to know.
This warning isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to arm you with information so you know what to watch for to protect your kids. Your kid makes a connection online.
maybe it's through an app or a video game. They chat a bit, and soon the person asks your kid to send an explicit picture or video.
A lot of the times what we see with young males is it happens pretty quick. Hey, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And they'll get the 14-year-old male to send them nude photos. And then, the 14-year-old is like, well, send me yours back. And they'll say, no, here is a screenshot of everyone you're following me, or everyone you're following. And if you don't send me $100 to this PayPal, I'm sending it to everyone on your followers list.
FBI Special Agent Emily Steele says victims of all ages are targeted.
One of the primary places this is happening is on Roblox. I've had victims as young as 6 on Roblox sending nude content. And that happens because the older generation or the parental generation doesn't even know you can message on Roblox.
According to the FBI, there have been more than 13,000 reports of online financial sextortion of minors between October 2021 and March 2023. Of the 12,600 victims, most were boys. And the FBI says these crimes led to at least 20 suicides.
It's shock, disbelief, anger, guilt, shame, all rolled into one.
Maricela Savalas is a victim specialist with the FBI. She says it's important to start the conversation with your kids about what they're doing online, then keep talking.
Hey, I heard on the internet, like TikTok, this dance is viral, or what does this mean? That can be as a gateway to ease yourself into these conversations. Who do you talk to the most online? Do you feel safe when you're in some of these communities? What are the things that you do to make sure that you feel safe? Or somebody said something that was hurtful to you, and see how that can open up and having that conversation.
Conversations that could keep them safe.
If your child is a victim of sextortion, the FBI says don't pay. These people will never stop asking for money. Report it to law enforcement, and then you can work with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to have photos or videos that may be available online removed. I'm Susan Campbell.
When we come back on 21Alive News at 4, we have finally made it to Friday. How's the weather shaping up for your weekend? Chris has the answer.
Finally at 4 for a lot of folks, Friday is movie night. That is convenient because this year it's also National Popcorn Day today, January 19th. It's observed every year.
According to nationaldaycalendar.com, the Aztecs used popcorn in headdresses during religious ceremonies. The site fascinated early Spanish explorers because to them, popcorn looked like white flowers. Well, in the U.S., popcorn gained popularity in the mid-1800s. Later on, candy store owner Charles Creeders invented a machine for popping the corn with steam. By 1900, he had horse-drawn popcorn wagons deployed throughout Chicago.
I love popcorn.
Yeah, now all you do is pop it in the microwave.
I know, it's so convenient. Jiffy Pop, when I was a kid, that was a big deal.
It was so fun to watch the...
Exciting.
Anybody who's younger than... 30 is not
Did you cook that on the stove?
Jiffy what?
Yeah.
The stove.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember too.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Not that long ago.
Like 78 years ago.
Yeah, that's all.
Take a look at your weather now. As we're getting into a little bit of lake snow, we've been watching on the radar, just some pop-up snow showers. We'll see those off and on this evening. They should not really amount to a tremendous undertaking unless you're traveling up toward Lake Michigan along the toll road trying to head to Chicago. You'll have to drive right through that heavy snow band. And that is some pretty scary stuff as visibility up there has been near zero. But lighter snow showers and flurries are a possibility this evening. Getting cold, though. The overnight low of 5. Those wind chills cold for the weekend. And we're talking about a big-time warm-up. Next week, we could see temperatures as high as the 40s and going even higher the following week.
Can't wait for that. Thanks, Chris. Coming up on 21Alive News at 5, it's Friday. That means high school basketball.
Chris Ryan is at Bishop Luers with our signature matchup. He's going to have a live report in moments.